with the some text phase, but rather than I try to figure it out. So with Ivan, my name is Nabil Khan, industry, but today is about league and a very good friend of mine, Reza. So I'll talk a little bit about Reza. I manage the builder business for all, like a number of builder sites Reza manage, and the amount of knowledge and the stuff Reza brings to the table in the entire industry. Who can so in my a lot about pre-construction. So I asked Reza to welcome to.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Reza. Fairly humble guy, so he would not talk. Feel free to ask any questions today from a pretty conference, and I will ask Reza to talk about. Over to you. First of all, do you do it Royal Bank?
So I managed the Builder Mortgage Cap program for Royal Bank for the last 10 years. We have currently over 300 builders under our program. We fund quite a lot of mortgages on the Builder Cap program. What the Builder Cap program is a program that guarantees the client from the beginning of the loan to the end of the construction when it comes to fruition and registration, or when I say registration, mainly for condos or town condos that we have the keys for the house and they're ready to take possession.
So you manage that for a very general in the pre-construction. I'll ask about what's happening now, and I'll ask about the conference and how the things I'll ask later on. But what's happening currently?
Currently in the Nabil, I kind of your question kind of came in or out there. I think you're asking currently what's happening. If I'm correct, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So currently the market has gone a little bit of a roller coaster recently with government coming in there, and I think I've on your last broadcast, which was the wild card. What's the rates? Non-residents, a number that the government has brought in to kind of combat the saw over the last few years, especially during COVID, of what happened kind of and on the low rise, the surge in the low rise market and the condo market. I mean, in the past, I mean, when I go back 10 years, you'd go to a builder site and you have your platinum agents, your VIP agents, that your clients walk through, and then you would have a period of time where it actually took you to a site, and that was the norm. And then we went through kind of a crazy stage just after COVID, a few months after COVID, where everybody was out there buying an investment, and you would only see the top platinum agents get most of their allocation. I would see sites that had 400 units and there'd be 2,500 worksheets on. So, builders had to be kind of picky choosy on who's supporting them. Crazy phase of price increases and demand, triple A builders and locations and stuff that a lot longer to sell out within a day or two. You see people waiting up. Then we went through a rate where government started increasing, and as interest rates started going up, so did the qualification rates, and you saw in the pre-construction both high-rise and low-rise market currently right now. Now we have seen a little bit of a pickup recently market. I've seen stuff moving a lot faster. You're seeing sales 100% in one day was the norm for the last 2 years. Now we're 50% fruition rate right off the bat, and then a slow, steady 20% sales before you can go into construction. So is kind of hopefully an end to the interest rate increases. We're hoping to its end. There's a lot of talk there that that was the last one that we just had. Interesting things that I've seen recently with inflation coming down. But I think at the end of it is we have homes. We need homes. As one of the we're already almost 1 million homes behind, and get through this as fast as we can. So we know eventually the market is going to catch. Availability is still going to be scarce, and the ability to buy properties is still going to be scarce.
Perfect. So there's a bit of a lag for my listeners are saying. So we'll hear you, but the voice is coming on a little bit. So there is some activity, not the same which was happening during pre-construction market is research, which is a good sign. About the conference you went, what do you guys do, and share with the listeners?
Yeah, so I just went off to we went to Banff, and we were at the CHBA conference, which is built into, and it's it's really great to be able to cross the country to see kind of where are things working well and what are things that are achieved to do better with. And it seems to be the same messaging across the border. A lot of builders are like, do we hold off? Do we wait? It looks like period is almost done. I think you'll see a lot of builders come out, and you'll see a lot more launches in September. I think you'll see plethora of new launches in September compared to April, as builders kind of sit back in April with consumption of inventory and new purchases. And again, the answers are the same from the builders. And I guess, are they going to reduce prices? And yeah, we have seen a few builders reduce prices out there, but will not reduce the prices. And the reason for that is a few. Number one is has gone up dramatically last year. We had a number of strikes that happened last year that really interrupt. I would say on average there was a 20% increase across the board on most trades. And if you look at the DC's development charges that are being charged, which is dramatic, builders can't build for less. They're in the business of homes and being able to be profitable at the same time. They're in the business to be profitable. When I look at construction starts and what's happening out there, and this year coming, construction for about 4.5 to maybe 5% increase in construction costs. Have a lag when it comes to trades and getting product in. Also have the cost of land that continues to go up. So builders are buying price, and I think a perfect example. I had a great chat yesterday with a number of agents, and I said to them, I go, look at any master communities. So master communities, anytime they're building 2 or other, we call it master communities. If you can go back and buy the master community, the first building, you'll, as they continue to build out, because costs continue to go up as they build. Because to build a normal 6 years, depending on the size of the high rise and where you are in the permitting of the land or actual construction. So it takes some time. So, the consensus are only going to continue to go up. Toronto is a mecca of people want to be here. People want to continue to migrate into Canada, and we're going to go up as the scarcity of land, and as I always like to say, we go from, and that's what Toronto's going to basically be. We've built this, I would say, this little box and around us, and everything's getting built in within this box. So as that gets, squeezed more and more up, and builders are feeling it. They're like, the costs are going up. I can't sell for less. I got to sell. We've seen some great projects just recently launched, and they've done extremely well. And the builders are starting the market coming back, and the demand coming back. So that was kind of the from the CHBA. Great seminar, great organization, great members, ton of people we got to sit and talk to, and learn, educate ourselves, and grow within the business, because we're all advocates of this business and seeing the growth of it. Nabil.
So let me summarize. Builders busy September launches are not looking to, and because the auction is going up and up, right? Now, listeners who join the show are who trying to buy homes, right? Let's say. So I think in qualification is becoming, rates are going up, but at the same time, I see a lot of new, right? So how is that? I just want to throw it out there to you. If a lot of newcomers coming in, going high and high and high, and the qualification is high as well. How are we going to build builders? What are they saying?
I think I understand your question. And sorry, you cut out a little bit there, Nabil. I think your question is within there. How do we tie in the new development with that? Is that the question? Okay, so
Yeah.
the government is there's a lot of stuff going on in Toronto. Some of the maps, and you can take a look and see what construction is happening. There's a ton of, especially in the high-rise side. A lot of builders are taking back their planned it out in a certain way, but looking to get more density so we can grow it. So the government's focus to continue to approve and look at making more construction available around high density and subway transportation for people to be able to move around to work, back and around as fast as they can. An example, Pickering. Pickering's got slated for over almost a few years as the Durham Live, the casinos, the Porsche racetrack, amazing things coming. So they're building these mega cities and making it more available as we have more and more. They are also cutting a lot of this red tape and making it a lot faster for builders to. What does that mean? Well, usually you try to get you buy the site, you sit on it, you try to get your permit, your drawings in, and then you go to site plan approved, come back and say, no, we want this many units, and they go back and forth. So the government is trying to cut as much to speed up the process for them to bring projects live. And that's the key. Old way they used to do it for the next 10 to 15 years, and they usually open it up, their approvals, and they add it on. So they're trying to speed that process up a lot faster. And what you'll see is a lot more approvals and a lot more high density transportation areas, subways, transportation area, a lot quicker. And if you look at some of the city plannings, you'll notice it's basically an eye going around Pickering, back around to Etobicoke, straight down basically Young Street and the Cry, in Vaughan going back into Durham again. And you can see they're going to continue. We have the infrastructure for the immigration that we're coming in. Are we going to happen. It's not going to happen. And what I always say, and I'll say it again, it's expensive now. Get ready. Toronto's going to be. Toronto is and will continue to be of the world one of the safest places to live, one of the best places to live. And I'll tell you, I've had with a developer that came into Toronto lunch, and usually I expect them to order something, some kind of water, and when our service came up, the gentleman said, "I will have," and I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll have the same." And I said, "Why did you ask for the tap water? This is the only place in the world, one of the only places in the world where I can drink tap water. One of the only places in the world that I can go outside and breathe the fresh air so that my kids and my family can continue to thrive in this country." So proud of what we do in Canada, and keeping this country clean and safe and continue to grow. And seeing that answer from that person just kind of blew me away. I asked him, I go, "So in where you live from, if you drink the water, what happens?" He goes, "You might grow another leg." It's quite interesting as you learn and you grow and you hear different experiences from different people right to Canada. So that will continue. We'll continue to grow the infrastructure, Nabil.
Good. So try to summarize what the government is trying to decrease the red tape. The projects coming in, probably be more projects will be kind of reasonable, and what the bill, they're trying to keep the projects closer to ways, the mall area, and you also touch base. Well, this is because if somebody looking to buy, somebody who's looking to investor, or if not a lawyer, I should look at, as you mentioned, closer to the they will drive up and so well said. I mean, great point. Another people ask me, interest rate is any interest rate forecast at the conference? The building about that at all?
Yeah, I heard something about interest rates. I didn't understand the full question. I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. So we know what the Bank of Canada builder community think it's over now, no more, or is going to continue to keep going?
I think your question is with the Bank of Canada interest rates. They kind of announced rates. Is your question around what the builders feel about that moving forward? Is that the question? Yeah. So I think the builders are built, and I want to be very. I want to say it in the best way I can. Builders are a little bit nervous. It's not always looking forward, but it's always also looking backwards. 2,000 units closing this year in Toronto. The large, and if you look at constructions, they go through different phases, different spikes. It was 22, 24, and you'll see these big spikes over the 4 to 5 years, where you'll see is a lot of builders are coming out now. A lot of construction will come out in 4 years. You'll probably see units closing in 4 to 5 years. And what builders are looking at, right, the closings that are coming up, and it makes them a little nervous for a few reasons. Be able to qualify. Will interest rates start dipping in September? I mean, you go at the RBC Economics site that we have, you can see a lot of information that's been published around where we feel that interest rates will go, and a lot of the stuff that I'm giving you a feel about the market based on my knowledge of what's happening. But builders are a little bit right now because a lot of people have purchased at prices 4 or 5 years. That's why if you notice, you'll see the assignment market is booming right now. A lot of this they originally bought 3-4 years ago or making a smaller profit. To go there because most of the investors out there who were purchasing on two aspects. Either you're looking for your capital gains or you're looking for brick and mortar. Maybe I'll give it to my children, and then I'll pay it down and I'll own it, and then I'll Canada, the hottest spot in the world to live in. But the ones who were the assignment part, which was looking to make capital gains, are a little bit worried because they might have units to see how they can qualify. So what I always recommend, number one, is specialists. There is nothing you can do to protect yourself. The biggest investment in your life than getting the right advice. And all of us, we get the biggest investment. Like you buy a car. I'll give you a perfect example. I bought a car. I was driving home, and I remember the salesperson telling me that I should get tire insurance, and I was, that's why I need tire insurance. On the drive home, I got a bubble in my tire, and it cost me first day. But if I had the insurance, it would have cost me nothing. And having that peace of mind is always very, very important to your family and to yourself. A, qualify for, and B, what you're going into. So I always recommend condos a cool down period of 10 days. See your mortgage specialist, get the advice, ensure that the entire time, and they're not requalifying you, because a lot of things can happen. You could get let go, you could get a promotion, you could leave the country, you buy a car, it might change your financial situation. And so it's very important to make sure that because you never know, interest rates right now should be coming down, hopefully. And remember, we go through these 5-year cycles where it'll continue. If I always say, no, go back 50 years in any property that you can find, and you'll always notice an arrow that see little sideways arrows, horizontals, but it will continue to go back up. And property, if you're trying to play a timing, let me try to see how fast I can get rid of it in there. But I love Toronto real estate, and I'll always be very, very, very.
No point. For all the listeners, it's on Instagram. I just got a notification. So apologies if you have asked any question on Instagram. Either you can text me, and other platforms, and they're about to come to it. I'm not able to see any comments I've got today. So Reza, this is really good information. As an individual, professional, as a real estate agent, you're giving very, very builder are, so a little bit what you just said. Build from the sale which happened in passing. The market is hot, but it's very optimistic about more from September onwards with the newcomers coming in. I think that's what you're saying. So that's pretty. There's always now the closing end part of it. So our question, and I'm going to put you on some is, should we buy it, kind of sort of thing?
Sorry, Nabil, I didn't hear. I heard something about buy, but I didn't hear the.
So the question is, shall we wait till September to buy?
Should you buy now or buy in September?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that comes down to the purpose is I am always buying. I'm always buying real estate. Doesn't matter if doesn't matter if it's an assignment or non-assignment. I am always looking for opportunities to purchase. I am looking to purchase is like a number of different things. Like I'll give you an example. You're gonna notice here there's things that you've never seen happen before in Toronto. You're gonna see construction in areas like malls. You're gonna see a ton of malls with a ton of condos. So become this master communities right by malls and subway station, Promenade Mall. It's a great example of what's going to happen. Ton of amazing that are coming around there. Yorkdale Mall, again, a ton of great builders coming around. Continue to see massive growth around high density transportation area where there is, usable good stuff. Kind of like New York. When you look at New York, the car in New York, everyone just jumps and goes here to eat here. Like you're building these, right? I have a shopping mall. I have great food at great restaurants I can go there. I have a race center. Porsche's building a race center in Pickering, and there's stuff that really interests me to the area that I want to be. I work down looking at Etobicoke as they're building around Legion Road over the train station there. They're to kind of gather and say, does it make sense? So if I'm a buyer, I'm always a buyer. Similar stock market, now the best time to buy. Do I cost dollar average? Do I keep buying? And when I personally buy a property, I look at a few things. I look at the builder and their reputation. I cannot emphasize this enough. Knowing their reputation, knowing that they consistently have built great years tells you a lot about a builder. Their service, their customer service, always location. Make sure the location is a AAA location to what I might want to live in Etobicoke, not downtown, because I don't want to be in. But at the same time, I know that buying in Etobicoke might be a little cheaper than downtown. I feel great. It's a great area, great restaurant, and they're building it up. I love that. So again, another master community coming. There's a couple of master Saga border. I try to stay away from naming builders, but a couple builders are building down there, which is again they just launched recently, an unbelievable. Not in because it won't be done for 6. One thing to remember is always look at purchasing pre-con that's got a longer span as well. I'm gonna say, assure yourself that I've got time because as you can tell, I can't go to a movie theater. I remember I used to go to a movie theater back in the days for $2.20, and it wasn't even a Toonie Tuesday. It was a regular $2.25. Now, if I want to go to movie theaters and buy popcorn and a Coke, it's going to cost me almost $100. Things have changed dramatically, and if you think it's expensive now, get ready. It's not getting cheaper right now. I used to buy a piece of chicken for like $4, even grass fed. What yesterday was $11. I thought there was 2 pieces in there. I had to look twice. So buy smart, buy right location, and give yourself time to let.
That's honestly. I wish I can listen to you and keep you for as understand. You have so many builders to manage, grow, but I really, really thank you for sharing the knowledge because what you have said is so valuable and so timely for the market. The interest rates, what is happening right now. You have talked about where things are looking and your market is feeling and the industry is feeling. Do you appreciate a lot, Reza, for your time? I have a busy schedule ahead of you, but thank you. Summarize whatever I could. I know there were some breaking points. and voice quality. There's words of wisdom you have said to the audience. Again, Rosa, thank you so much for your time.
Nabil, my pleasure. We've got to do this face to face. I can get this audio issue added there. We'll come face to face and you buy the dinner.
Hope, Reza, one day you and I will probably get together audio, because somehow you and I connect technological problem, but there's a breaking and people to lose this message, because the way the pre-construction sector for the next little while talked about. So hopefully our next one will be face to face.
Thank you. He's a great leader.
I know
your teams love you so much. So thank you for having me on. Take care.
So
bye.
Bye.